What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Rahimi.
And Great Debaters, we're back with Above the Law. Alright, Amir, so today on the Great Debaters, we are getting into Black Mafia Life, Above the Law's second album, coming after Living Like Hustlers, Vocally Pimpin' EP, and then Black Mafia Life. But before we get to that, of course, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Like our content, share, talk about it, be about it, each one, teach one, help spread the word on Unique Access, and also join our membership. Please, that enables us to keep coming to y'all as often as possible, as many interviews and videos like the Great Debaters as possible, so please support us in any and every way that you can. Now, Amir, Above the Law, one of rap's all-time best groups, one of my favorite groups of all time, and Black Mafia Life is a masterpiece on many levels. So, what are your first recollections getting exposed to this magnificent piece of work?
Man, I listened to Black Mafia Life far after The Chronic, and far after a lot of like the stuff that it had clearly influenced. And man, am I happy I ended up listening to it, because Above the Law is one of the best groups. We've talked about it a lot on this channel. And I did listen to this, after Living Like Hustlers and after Vocally Pimpin', so I was going in order. But definitely a special album, a very important album that more people should talk about. That being said, let me get into one of my picks right here, and that is Never Missing a Beat. So, track 2 on the album, we had Black Triangle right before that. Never Missing a Beat, man. I mean, we had like a minute or a minute plus of that instrumental with the piano, and just all that was just so fantastic. And I was so upset when we didn't hear any rapping over that. I'm still hoping that someone will rap over that beat. Maybe someone has and I haven't heard it. Maybe Soren would know, but I want someone to rap over that beat. I was like, damn, Colin 87 he just got him for days. So he's like, we'll just put this on the intro. We don't care. I'm like, oh man, that was such a dope instrumental. And then it goes right into like another instrumental, which is also so freaking good. And it's like, geez, can't you rap over both? But no, I mean, super, super, super awesome. I just think the way that they layer the instrumental, I mean, the way Colin 87 does his magic and Above the Law just do their magic is just something super special. And the placement like of cocaine as well, I think is just always great, whether it was Eazy-E doing it or Above the Law doing it or whoever who would utilize cocaine. I just think he can fit on so many songs, and he's a very talented artist that just has had also a very lengthy career. But anyways, I mean, Never Missing a Beat is just stupidly awesome. Track 2 comes with a bang. It's one of the longer songs on the album as well, and I just think Colin 87 does super, super, super well in it. It's just a really, really, really good song. And yeah, man, it's one of those songs where I get lost in the beat as well, especially, like I said, the first part of the beat where it's like that first minute plus. Really dig that, and then it goes into the second part of the song, and I just think it's just such a banger. And then also the sample, the Knee Deep, which is awesome. We hear that throughout multiple rap songs. So then I remember when I first heard like Stranded on Death Row by Dre, and then you heard Snoop where he says, I'm not lagging, but I'm just sagging, like that. And other rappers have done that over the years. But then I heard this, I was like, oh wow, well, they do it too, and it's like in their chorus, and it's awesome. So, and also this song was recorded before that Dre song, I'd assume. So, yeah, man, I mean, super awesome song. Big, great track too. That's my first pick.
Never Missing a Beat's also one of my picks, and I just, the thing that amazes me about all of Black Mafia Life, and that I think has been a hallmark of Above the Law, especially between their Ruthless and Tommy Boy projects in particular, is the evolution sonically that we get.
Yeah.
And it's done differently, of course, but it's like an Outcast, and all the albums are so dramatically different sonically, even though I'd say Vocally Pimpin' is the precursor to this and has a lot of similarities. It's also extremely different sonically. And I really enjoyed that, coming from Living Like Hustlers to then Vocally Pimpin' to then, Black Mafia Life. So Never Missing a Beat, all the great rap that's come from the Parliament Funkadelic, and this album is obviously drenched with it. And this album, we talk about it at length in my book, The History of Gangster Rap, and Yuckmouth actually gave me a great quote talking about how this album and Above the Law in general really slowed rap down, and Never Missing a Beat is a prime example of that, going from the super high energy stuff that the Bomb Squad and Public Enemy was doing, even Dre with the Ruthless Records stuff that he had done, to where rap was fast and rap had all this energy to it, and Marley Marl, a lot of his stuff too, whereas Above the Law slowed it down and got us into what then became the Chronic, and then, as we know, Above the Law created G-Funk, and then, everybody else put their different twists and turns on it, Dre and then Warren G in particular. So, but man, Never Missing a Beat, I think, is one of those songs where, you got the cocaine, you got all these different elements to it, but it's really, to me, like Amir was saying, you can get lost in the beat, and then the flow and the sound of it works so well, especially with Cole 187's voice in particular. Just a magical moment on Black Mafia Life. So that's mine first. Amir, what's your second pick on Black Mafia Life?
So I have to go with this one. I mean, VSOP, man. That song, when I first heard that beat, I got the cassette right here. Oh my god. Such a great song. The beat on here is just... I first heard this song, I was like, holy shit. And then the beat was so good that there was like a minute left over where they just played the beat in case you didn't want to hear them rap anymore. Like, well, here's the beat, which, wow. And I think like a lot of times you hear rappers when they're in the studio together, and you want to hear them kind of rapping with each other and then back and forth. And one of the groups that comes to mind is like Run DMC. They did a lot of that, and even like 8-Ball and MJG. But man, on this song you get like Cole 187 and KMG on here, and they are going back and forth, especially with Cole 187's very high pitched voice, and then KMG comes with this more like smooth, laid back flow, and it really complements each other. I think that the way that they're going back and forth on this is just awesome. I also love when Cole 187 has that hump, bump, bump. Like, that's always like a memorable part of the song. It's kind of like breaks the flow. And it's just like, dude, this song is awesome. Then you get the chorus, super dope. I mean, really excellent song. I think it's just produced supremely well. I think just KMG and Cole 187's chemistry is ever so clear on this song. I just think that this is a standout, and it's a single that should be talked about more, just among the premier singles in hip-hop history, in my opinion. I think it's just so special. It's incredible, and that has to be my second pick.
That's not one of my picks on the album.
I'm actually shocked. Go ahead, Soren.
It's amazing, but this whole album is amazing. I'm going to go with Pimp Clinic as my second pick. And this one, I think because so much of the album has so much of a dark, heavy, marauding type of sound, that Pimp Clinic, because it's a little brighter and it's a little more upbeat or happy, I guess you would say, just sonically, I like the way that it kind of gave a little hiatus or oasis in the middle of the album, but then also it just sounded, the flow and the stylistic vocally that, especially Cole 187 in particular, I just really liked that and thought it stood out so much to me. And then as I would always listen to the album, it was kind of like, oh man, Pimp Clinic's coming on. It's exciting. So that one, I just always thought was nice and different and really appreciated it. And, with all these, the three we've talked about so far, they're not, well, just Never Missing a Beat's in the beginning, but, now we're getting into the middle, second half of the album. And that just shows the power and the consistency of Black Mafia Life, that it's throughout the entire album that these songs are hitting you so hard. And, that's why Pimp Clinic, to me, it just stands out and so powerful. So that's my second pick. Amir, what's your third pick on Black Mafia Life?
third song, this was a tricky one. I could have went a few different ways here, and this is really a toss-up. It can change tomorrow. But I remember there were always times where, like I said, sometimes I try not to spoil track lists and stuff like that. So I purposely don't look at the back end of the track to see who's featured or who's producing or whatever. Well, on the CD and the tape, they don't even say who's featured on it if you take a glance at the back. So it's always interesting when you have high-profile guests on an album and they don't showcase that. Maybe the hype sticker did. I don't have the hype sticker on this, but I don't think there was a hype sticker that said the names that were on here, because I'm choosing the song Call It What You Want, which was also single on the album. It has Tupac as well as Money B. Since this is this album officially released in early 93 or so, Tupac wasn't obviously at death row at that point or as big as he would become, but still you can see the talent and all that. So one thing that I like on the approach, well, first we have above the law, we have Laylaw on the intro talking about you've now entered the Black Triangle, which is interesting because if I recall this is track 6 or something like that. So it's very interesting. I don't truly understand all of what that means exactly, but I just find that interesting. Maybe someone can elaborate. But you have Tupac starting off where he says, I clown around with the underground, but when I'm with the Mafia, I'm dropping you. I think Tupac's just awareness, and this is just awesome because you have an MC who's rapping about his current setting. Well, he has Money Be on the song, so he's mentioning Digital Underground, and then he's on an Above the Law track, so he's talking about now his mood with Above the Law. So I think that's just great awareness and great inclusion from Tupac's part. And then he goes and he does excellent on his verse, on a dope beat, by the way. Then we get Money B on the second verse, who also does well. Shout out to Money B. And then we get Cole 187, and we get KMG. And I just think it's a really, really, really good song. And also this beat is also not dark, kind of like we were just talking about a little bit earlier. I just think that's awesome. I have the vinyl single right here. I haven't seen the music video in quite some time, so I'll have to revisit that in case there's any dope stuff from there. But just a really good collaborative track. But you have names like Tupac, Money B, Eazy-E, we just talked about Cocaine. You have MC Ren on here. You have some big names, especially for the time. This is coming off of the NWA breakup, and you have names like Eazy and MC Ren on an album. That's pretty big, and to not see them on the track was interesting. But I was close to picking Harder You Are, The Doper You Fall, and the way that they spelled that is also very intriguing. But there's some really, really, really great features on here, great songs on here. It's definitely one of the strong parts of their discography. So that is my last pick.
Call It What You Want is not my third pick. Mine is Process of Elimination. Now, this song, Call It What You Want, of course, is amazing. Great video, phenomenal work, and I really like at the end how it had that Digital Underground touch with the piano and the other elements, and how Tupac, of course, referenced same song with his lyrics. But Process of Elimination, MC Ren just annihilates this song, and to have Cole 187, KMG, and then Ren on the song, it was just this is an all-star cast, and Ren, just so underrated, so underappreciated in my opinion, and just always is coming out with just, jaw-dropping, knuckle-smashing, amazing type of lyrics that are super hardcore. But I also thought sonically, this song kind of reminded me, or gave me a feeling of Appetite for Destruction off Brothers for Life. So I always liked it for that, because that's one of my favorite songs on Brothers for Life as well. And it just had that kind of pulsating, energetic, confrontational, riotous type of feel. So I felt with MC Ren on it, taking it to another different dimension, which I didn't expect, and then also adding the sonic fury that this song had, which was different from a lot of Black Mafia life, which is to me a controlled fury of Call It What You Want, Never Missing a Beat, VSOP. Those to me are more controlled, you can feel it's a wave building, and then by the time you get to Process of Elimination, I was like, okay, here's the release, here's where this energy gets released in a different type of way sonically. and I just thought it was super powerful, a great posse cut, and just Ren. He just so awesome on there. So, you know, that's my third pick. So you guys got my 3 picks, you got Amir's. As always, hit us up in the comment section. Let us know what you guys think are your top 3 favorites on Black Mafia Life. Also, subscribe and join our membership, please. If you haven't already, pick up my book, The History of Gangster Rap. I got MC Ren and Cold 187 all up in there, as I hope you would imagine. So please support us in any of those ways. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And the Great Debaters, y'all. And thank you above the law for this masterpiece.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.